Third conditional. So guys, if you have any problems with the first and second conditional, we have another video for that. So just a quick review. Keep in mind that if you say if, present, and will, you have the first conditional. If I have money, I will buy another book. If, past, and would, you have the second conditional, right? If I had money, I would buy another book. Of course, you remember if you see the video, but it's worth telling you here. Remember, both of those sentences talk about the present, you know? So the difference, the present or the future, right? So the difference between one and the other is not present and past, even though you have the past here. The difference is about the level of reality. Here it's something it may happen, here is something that it won't happen, but you are just imagining. So go back to that video if you have problems. Well, so if you think about it, we still need a sentence to talk about the past. Let me give you a scenario, right? So let's imagine yesterday there was a party and my friend John was there. I didn't go to the party and I didn't see John, okay? So I could think, let's imagine I want to imagine imagine a different hypothesis in the past. I cannot say if I went to the party, I would see John yesterday. Okay, I can't say that. What can I say? No, well, first, what would you understand or a native understand if I said if I went to the party, I would see John? There is a party tonight, okay? We are not at night, we are in the morning, okay? 10:25 in the morning of a Sunday. And the party is tonight. I'm sure I'm not going to the party. And then I go, if I went to the party tonight, I would see John, okay? Just as a review, because we have to start those three conditionals together. We have to review the other two. Let's imagine maybe I'll go to the party. If I go to the party, I will see John. But again, what if the party was yesterday? I didn't go to the party and I'm trying to imagine a different past. This is where third conditional comes. If I had gone to the party, third form, of course, is the past participle of a verb. I would have seen John. So this is how you do it. If I had gone to the party, I would have seen John. Okay? Well, before we practice a little bit further, I would like to give you guys a suggestion. I know this is one of the most difficult constructions in English. As a matter of fact, when we interview students to see where they're going to enter when they come from other schools or from other places, a very nice way to see if their English is advanced or high advanced is to check this construction. Actually, two things I always check when I interview people. Or I interview somebody who wants to be a teacher, or I interview a person for the teacher's course, you know. Of course, I check all English, right? But I pay attention to, I always pay attention to two things. One is the correct past, the pronunciation of regular verbs. There is a video about that if you have a doubt, right? So I make sure to check if the candidate says liked instead of like it. And the second thing is I make sure they master this construction. So going back, I know this construction is very hard to manage. And guys, I have to tell you that it's very hard to remember something like that in the abstract. You know, it's like just memorize something that is just too vague, right? If had third form, would have third form. So what is my suggestion for you? First, picture a scenario in the past, okay? I'm going to do that with you. So a scenario in the past, let's imagine 2 years ago, I went to the park with my friend Marcel. Okay, so that was 2 years ago. And let's imagine something that happened, right? I broke my arm because we were playing the seesaw. You know seesaw, like a person sits here and the other sits here and then we go like this. Okay, and then I broke my arm. That's my scenario. Then I'm going to try to imagine a different reality for that past. If I hadn't, so if it's a different reality, it's the opposite of what happened. If I hadn't gone to the park with Marcel, here, I wouldn't have broken my arm. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. Actually, my example was not the best because it was not something that really happened. But guys, it would be awesome if you could picture something that really happened. Okay, so once you do that, you get your third conditional sentence. What is your next step? You're going to use that third conditional sentence as a model sentence you will never forget for the rest of your lives. You know, this is your job, you know, to have the conditional sentence. I don't know, you can tattoo the conditional sentence, not on the back because it's on your arm, so you can look at that. So it means that every time you have problems with a construction, so let's imagine there was a test today, there was a test last week, I didn't study for the test and I didn't pass. And let's imagine I try to make the sentence, and believe me guys, it's very common to have problems with that. So I will go something like, if I did the test, if I studied if I study, I would. So I'm confused. I go back to my model sentence. If I hadn't gone to the park with Marcelo, I wouldn't have broken my arm. And then I just copy the construction. If I hadn't gone to the park, good. If I had studied for the test, I wouldn't have broken my arm. I would have passed. Got it? So that's your challenge. Get a model sentence. I remember when I learned this construction 125 years ago when I was young, my conditional sentence was, if I had gone to the party, I would have seen Edna, you know? In the time I would have to go back to that sentence all the time. But of course, as you get more and more familiar with it, you don't need that model sentence anymore. But you know, as in, I don't know, an affection thing, you can keep it for the rest of your lives, and then you can think, remember when I didn't know conditional sentence? Those were difficult times. Okay, let's do some exercise together, okay guys? So let's imagine John crossed the street without looking both sides. And because he crossed the street without looking both sides, he was hit by a guy on a bicycle. Nice. Now try to imagine, real situation. He didn't look, he was hit. Okay? Hypothetical situation. Pause the video, guys. Try it. Very good, guys. Congratulations. That was fantastic. If he had looked both sides, he wouldn't have been hit by a bike. He wouldn't have gotten hurt. Okay? Of course, guys, as it is with any conditional sentence, you can put this part before. I could say he wouldn't have gotten hurt. You know, you can do all of that. Okay? Nice.